Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another 6-in-1 action figure review. Yeah, today we're going to look at the entire wave of the mini comic Marvel Legends Ultimate Iron Man. We have the brand new Dakin figure over here.
Dakin.
We have a brand new Banshee, finally. And then we have a new Miles Morales figure right here. We have the long-awaited Adam Warlock. And the only figure that actually hasn't been released before out of this wave, we have ROM Space Knight. I am pretty excited for these figures. We've needed a lot of these figures for a while, but I can tell you right away, holding this ROM Space Knight in hand, I was like, damn, this is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, you can see the packaging right over here. It's got, you know, the whole blister card thing going on. Got the little comic tribute right there on the corner. On the back, you can see the comic that it's based off of for each of the characters, and we have read-ups right over there for every single one of them. So if you want to take a look and pause for the read-up, you can go ahead and do so right now. Also on the back of the packaging, you can see all the other figures from the wave. All right, nothing on the bottom or top of these, so let's get to it and crack these things open. And if you're trying to get your Marvel Legends, you can do so.
Big, get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And here's all 6 figures out of the packaging. And one thing I wanted to bring up once again was that the packaging is actually a little bit cooler than I anticipated with these. I don't know, it's nothing too crazy. It's just a little bit more like this whole thing with the comic books staggered behind where the mini comic is. And then, you know, we have some nice unique artwork behind the figure for each of these. So I think that's pretty cool too. So a little bit extra with the packaging, which I like. But anyway, I like these figures. I gotta say right off the bat, I'm happy to have these 5 characters redone, so that's making me very happy. ROM Space Knight, oh my god, very cool figure. We're gonna look at each of these one by one, starting left to right. So let's get started with Ultimate Iron Man. So I really didn't think Hasbro was going to go with this version of Ultimate Iron Man because we got the more recent version of Ultimate Captain America. I thought we were going to get this version right over here, but no, we got this one and I'm very happy to have it. Now, compared to the first version, which, oh my goodness, the Vac Metal Red is pretty damn cool, but that was like the only cool thing. Well, and the helmet feature right over here, that's pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, this is just a million times better. And I did put on some Tony Stark heads over here for you to see, and they do look pretty good and they fit on there. I did have to heat one up. Now the red over here is very flat. You can see a little bit of splotching right over there, so that's a little unfortunate. And we have some bright gold over here, which does look pretty good. It is a little on the thin side up top over here, but it's not too bad, and I do like the blue. I really love the gunmetal gray on this figure more than anything, though. Damn, that looks so freaking badass. And brighten things up, you can see it even better over here. A lot of detail in there. And I just think the color of the plastic just makes those details pop really well. You can see some of that blue on the back right here. It looks like there's, oh no, I thought there was some paint missing over there, but yeah, man, and this looks really good. I like the sculpt right here on the spine, and the legs look really good. Big old boots. There's like no paint on the back of the figure, well, except for this part right here, but that's okay. It's not bothering me so much. And the legs look really good. So I'm pretty pleased with the aesthetics of this figure. I think it looks great, to be honest with you. I'm pretty stoked about this. The articulation on this figure is pretty good too. So it does have a ball joint at the neck, and it does have a disc hinge at the head. But due to the size of this helmet and everything, you can't really get him looking up that far. You can use both joints to move the head down just a little bit over here. And we also have this cool feature right here with the shoulder pads, and we don't have butterfly joints. You can get the arms moving over at 90, then bend in all the way. You get the bicep swivel. We have pinless double jointed elbows, which work out really well. All the hands turn side to side and hinge up and down. We'll look at the accessories in just a moment. The diaphragm cut is pretty smooth. Pivots a little bit at the diaphragm, crunches forward a little bit, and back. You have waist articulation over here too. That's on a ball joint. It's tricky to twist around, but you can see it will move. It'll be easier to demonstrate further away. So with both joints, it'll crunch forward only that far and bend back a bunch more so. Then the legs are pretty, I mean, you have to kind of tuck this piece right here into the hip so that you can get the legs to move outward. So that's a little bit tricky to work with. Then they'll kick forward, back, upper thigh cut, and then you have these nice double... God, I love the gunmetal gray on this thing. You have all these ribbed patterns right here, even in the knee joint too. Damn, that looks really good. You could even see that in there. Looks like the plastic on the hinge actually changes a little bit though, so I wish that was a little bit more consistent, but still, I like how that looks all bent like that. That's pretty damn cool. The ankles move down, they do move up, they rotate side to side, and you get beautiful ankle pivot that just moves that far. And then the accessories, you get the fist hands, which you could clearly see on the figure. You get these wide open repulsor hands right here, which look really good, but he doesn't come with any effects. But if you do have some, you could go ahead and plug him in like that. You could also plug him into the bottom of the feet, even though one of these ports is a little bit more loose than the other. I think, yeah, see, that just falls right out super easy. But on this side, it's a little better. Damn, a lot of detail at the bottom right over here. You also get these item holding hands, and each of these figures come with their own mini comic, which I don't like at all. Like, I'm not really, I mean, I'm impressed by their photo printing technology, which I think this is all about just showing off how they can print stuff and fine detail. So that is cool, nice flex, but as far as actually having the figures posed holding these, I'm not doing that. I'm not a fan of the idea, to be honest with you. I guess like having some ACBA with a stack of these is useful, but damn, dude, yeah. And they're pretty pliable too, you could bend them around a little bit. Then here's a look at Dakin, not Dawkin or Dakin, it's Dakin. I looked it up.
Dakin.
And I like this head sculpt a lot. I love how it doesn't look like Wolverine to me. I mean, of course, the design is based off of Wolverine. It's a Wolverine mask on a Dakin head, but I really like how this exposed section looks. Really like the smile over here. I want to compare it to the first version that we'd gotten, and you could see some of the color differences between the two of them right over here too. I do miss the soft shadowing that we got on these older figures. We don't have that over here. And then we have an alternate head, which I also really like. And I think this came out looking really good, man. I love that little bit of eyeshadow over there. I like the smirk. Yeah, I think the facial expression matches the character. The mohawk looks great. Yeah, man. I like the little bit of 5 o'clock shadow. It's very, very subtle right here. Comparing to the alternate version that came out a long time ago, you could see just a much improved head sculpt. We don't have the mask down accessory with this figure, which would have been nice. And then you can see the brown color. It's got a little bit more of a gray tint to it over here, which I do like this darker brown a little bit more so, to be honest with you. The tattoo looks pretty nice over here. I can't really complain too much about it. It's got a little bit of a green color mixed in there, which makes it a little bit more realistic, I think. Because, yeah, when I see tattoos, they tend to have that greenish color to them. But, yeah, I do think the deco on this older one still looks really good as well. I like both of the tattoos, to be honest with you. I don't think I have a preference over one over the other. I really do like them both. But it does stand out a little bit more. It looks like there's more paint on this older one than there is on this one right over here, which is a shame. Because, yeah, like I said earlier, having some shadows would have been cool. Would have made things look a little bit better, I think. In the body mold we've seen before, it's the updated Sunfire body mold, unless I'm mistaken, but that's what it looks like to me. We got the pinless joints. You have boot rotation that shifts the slightest bit. I wish we'd gotten like some solid boot rotation over here, so that frustrates the hell out of me. You really have to twist the hell out of it to get that to move. So it will move, but damn it, it's frustratingly hard to move around. And you get the ankle pivot and everything. I'm not going to do a thorough articulation segment on this one. We know how it goes, but you know, the mohawk right there, it gets in the way with him looking up a bit, you know. But anyway, he does come with these awesome claws right over here. I think Joey was the one who told me that it was just these top two were bone and this is supposed to be metal, but later on you see images of him using all metal claws. I do wish that they had more of like the bladed feature to them if they're going to be metal claws, you know, kind of like the flat blade Wolverine. Here's a Wolverine figure. This one right here looks a little bit cooler to me, you know, like these kind of blades would have been nice to see on this figure. I would have preferred having that, and you get one for each side with all three sticking out, and then you have an alternate set of hands that has only two blades coming off the top right here. We're not getting the notch in the palm like how we should though. Then we have this alternate left hand that's made just for comic book holding, which, yeah, again, cool. neat little feature. I actually did take a picture of this figure with the Dark Avengers while holding this right over here. But yeah, I'm impressed. They're able to get that on there. You know, nice detail with the paint, but damn, not an accessory that I'm very fond of. And next up we have Miles Morales, and this looks really damn good. I like this figure quite a bit, man. I have complaints, which I'm about to mention, but yeah, this head sculpt, I actually really dig. I like how the eyes look over here. I like how different it is from this Miles figure. This is the one that I have hanging from the ceiling in my Spidey display, and you can see the lines are a lot thinner, which I really do dig. And the smaller eyes, it's just a really nice look to have. So yeah, I dig the aesthetics of this. It looks really good. You can see the butterfly joint has some nice paint in there, so that's pretty thoroughly applied. I dig that. The spider logo looks good. We have this new buck over here with some reused parts. The last time we got a smaller figure like this was this Spider-Boy figure, and you can see this has the older buck, so we have the updated articulation with the diaphragm cut and the U-joint right there. So with both joints, he actually does bend forward quite a bit right there, so I am stoked about that. And he does bend back, a little bit of gappage over there, and with the neck hinge, you can see that he can look up very far as well. We do get an alternate head, which I'm happy to have, and it looks so much better than the old version, man. Now this looks really damn good with the photoreal tech. I really do like it. Try and get some more light on there. And then here's the previous version. I think this is the one that came with the figure that I was holding up just a minute ago. Looks like it's the same dude, same age, just much better looking overall. I like the skin tone more. I like the paint applications more on this one. The hair looks good. So I'm pretty happy with the way this figure looks. And these arms are the same arms that we got on Spider-Boy. The legs, though, these flipping hands do look pretty good, you know? So I'm pretty happy with those. It's kind of weird to see the thumb all the way in, though. He's, you know, more of a Hail Satan, more so than whipping right over there. And then we have more uneven hands. You get a left hand with the fist. I'm sorry, that's the right side. And then a left hand for holding the comic. The paint on the red looks pretty good on these. And then you get the one wide open hand. So I really wish we got more even sets of hands than just those whipping hands, which actually are technically not even completely even, you know? And then you also get the little comic right over here. And you can see how that matches right over there, more or less anyway. Yeah, and you can go ahead and fit this in that comic holding hand, which again, I'm not happy with that. But yeah, we have this new torso over here, but unfortunately they went with the same exact legs as the Spider-Boy legs. You can see the placement of the wrinkles and everything on the hips. So it's not even just the leg, it's the hips and all the way down. And it does not match this new body right here. These are sticking out way too far. So that's a bit awkward. They do have a drop-down feature, though, that I really do like a lot. I'm really happy with that. But when you kick him all the way up, he's got these weird bony nalgas hanging from underneath, and that looks really odd. That's really, really bizarre looking to me. So great range of movement. I mean, look at that. He could hold his patas all the way up past his ears and everything. So that's pretty neat. And then the rest of the articulation we're familiar with. You know, I'm happy that we have the calf cut right over here. But yeah, just a bummer that aesthetics-wise, it looks really, really bad. But, you know, it does have some pretty sweet articulation to kind of make up for it, if you think it makes up for it. But damn, it still looks ugly when you pose it around. I guess because it has that drop-down feature, if you could shift it up, it makes it look better. So just be mindful of that drop-down feature, that you don't have it dropped all the way down. You gotta tuck that nalga in. Nalga tuck. Did you tuck my nalga? And here we have Banshee, and I am so mad at myself right now because I could not find my training suit X-Men figures. I put them all in a bag and I forgot where it went, but I do love that we get both of these head sculpts right here. We get the neutral expression head, but both of which we'd seen before from the training suit figure. And yeah, the mutton chops look great. I love what they did with the paint on the hair. This just looks really good all the way through as far as the head sculpts go. And then you have the alternate, very necessary screaming face right here, also looking fantastic. Man, I know a little bit shiny. I have a couple lights on it right here. So yeah, wish it was a little bit more matte as far as the plastic went. Damn, the hair, again, painted very, very nicely. I will compare this to the very first Banshee head sculpt. Wow, damn. And this is like one of the better Marvel Legends figures that came out at that time. So good that I actually think the whole cape system here is better than what we're getting on the new one. I've had this ever since it came out, so what, since 2007? And it hasn't broken on me. When I got this figure out of the box, it broke on me right away. Yeah, and maybe I tried to twist it, I can't remember, but this little piece came out of the side of the arm, and that frustrates the hell out of me. So I'm going to have to glue that back in. You could also see that the yellow paint looks very thin over the green. I'm not happy about that. They reused the Vulcan body mold for this figure again, so I'm not really surprised with that either. I think it's an appropriate choice for the figure. It just sucks that, yeah, you can see this line right over, there's a break in the glove, and then it's painted coming back over here, so that just doesn't match. They have, of course, added the collar piece right there, the legs we've seen before. Then there's looking at the boots. The paint does look a little bit better on the boots right here. Does that line up right? Yeah, it does. It's a little bit, yeah, there's a little bit of a lip hanging off that calf right over there. And then there's looking at the back of the figure. So I wish they were able to keep the color of the cape the same. That does bother me. And they have these tabs sticking out right here. They twist right here in the middle, which works, but I wish all of them had that twisting feature because I think it's pretty necessary and it's pretty helpful. But yeah, like the Siren figure, unfortunately, one side has a dull color to it and the other one's more vibrant, and I wish it was more like this one where either side just looked fine. Also, the hands kind of bother me. You only get one wide open hand over here, and then you have the comic holding hand, and then you get an even set of fist hands, and then there's like, what, a pipe holding hand? Or cigar or pipe holding hand right over here with the trigger fingers sticking out? I don't know. And then this one does come with the giant size X-Men #1, which does look really cool. Again, their printing tech is quite phenomenal. And here we have Adam Warlock. Oh my god, I'm so happy to have this one. Now, yes, I do wish we had an alternate head with a neutral expression, but if we're going to go with one expression, I'm happy with this one. It looks really good. I'm trying to darken the settings over here so you can see the details in the face. The paint around the eyes looks awesome. I love how the mouth looks over here. The hair looks great too. Look at that detail in the paint. I love it. Looks so much better compared to this one right over here. This was the first version that came out, I think, in 2008. This is part of the Red Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, so much better. But one thing I'm going to point out, and as I mentioned earlier with the Dakin, Dakin. I'm trying to remember the pronunciation, but I actually customized this and painted some soft shadowing effect right here on the figure, and we're not getting that shadowing effect on this figure either. So that's a bummer. Skull looks pretty good right over there, and the orange looks pretty decent. You know, the color choices are pretty good. It's a more saturated orange than we're seeing on the older figure, but I do like this more, of course. Overall, it just looks way better. We have the orangish red on the back, and then the yellow on the inside of the cape. Same deal with this older one. But yeah, I wish we'd gotten some paint detail. I do miss having paint detail in our figures. Would have been nice to get a soft goods cape. I want Hasbro to bring in soft goods capes. That would be really good. I mean, I know we just got one with this, but, I mean, still, for the regular capes, it would be nice to see some soft goods. So, I am stoked about it. For the most part, I am happy with the Vulcan body mold, and I think this is a pretty good choice to use for this character in this figure. They did update his staff right over here, so it's not the same exact one as we'd seen before, which at first I thought it was, but I'm glad that they updated it. A little bit more detail in this one, so it looks pretty good. It looks like there's some black paint in the creases over here. I could be tripping. I might just be tripping. But I thought it looked like it had some paint on it. But goddamn, no, it looks like there is some black paint in there. Take a look at yours. I see black paint only on this side on the back, and then only on this side on the front. So it's like, it's opposite. I don't know, kind of weird. But the wood grain looks pretty good. Kind of tricky to tell with that backdrop over there. So nice looking wood grain. And then he does come with a set of fist hands, as well as comic holding hands or staff holding hands right over there. And he does come with his Infinity Gauntlet comic cover right here, which does look pretty damn cool. Again, the detail on this is impressive, but still, to me, a bit pointless. And then the last accessory we get with this figure, of course, is the Infinity Gauntlet itself, which looks magnificent. I really do dig it a lot. Having an interchangeable hand, you know, like an open hand like this, which I actually painted gold. Yeah, it was too bland looking for me. So this one has enough of a metallic color for it to make sense. Plus, it matches the look of the Infinity Gauntlet that we got with the Thanos figure from a while back. I was just trying to show how you could swap this right here, put that on, and then get this going right over there. So yeah, that's pretty damn cool. Very happy with that. And I like that it maintains the articulation so you could, you know, hinge this up and down and rotate the wrist. So I don't know where my Thanos Infinity Gauntlet is at the moment, but comparing it to just the regular Thanos glove and remembering that, yeah, this Infinity Gauntlet for the figure was similar to this one, so that makes me happy. They look close enough. Oh, in case you want to see what the modern Warlock head sculpt looked like next to this one, there you go. And lastly, we have ROM, which I do feel a little bit of geeky shame not knowing who ROM was until this figure was revealed, but I did some reading and I read the first issue of ROM and I liked it. I thought it was a pretty fun read. I want to read more. Basically, this humanoid race goes around in their ships helping other planets. The dire wraiths attack them. They need to defend themselves, so they start this ROM program. This dude ROM volunteers, and half robot, half man, pretty much. There's a bunch of other volunteers. I don't know if they have the same exact procedure done to each of them. They look slightly different, but then they also look like they could be the same. I don't know, but having an army of space knights just sounds really badass to me. Anyway, I think this figure is pretty badass. I really love what they've done here with the sculpting throughout. I think this is all new stuff, and the jetpack does look pretty cool. We have no jetpack accessories, nothing to plug in over here, but I do think this looks pretty damn neat. Arms look pretty good. Fairly large figure as it should be. Unfortunately, though, I do have a little bit of rub scuffage right over there from this diaphragm joint moving around. I love the silver on this figure, by the way. I was hoping it would be something like the Ultron, which I did grab, and yeah, it's very similar to the silver paint that we'd seen with the Ursa Major Ultron figure, and the original Walgreens exclusive Silver Surfer has a very similar paint job. Somehow the Silver Surfer looks even shinier to me. I don't know how. Is it the side that I'm holding him on? I don't know. There's something about the Silver Surfer. If anyone's going to be more silvery, it should be Silver Surfer. I don't know. They look the same. Yeah, I'm going to drive myself crazy comparing those two. But yeah, the sculpt looks great. I love the red paint applications right over here. Again, weak getting that scuffage going on. But yeah, the arms look really good. And then you can see like how these fingers are all kind of mushed together a little bit in the sculpt as intended. So you do get these weapon holding hands that have horizontal hinges on them. You get this nice rib pattern right here on the thigh. I like the placement of the boot cut. I'm going to do a thorough articulation segment with this guy in just a second. But I love that we're not seeing marbling or anything through the silver. It looks really clean. I really like it a lot. Feet look good. I like the pattern right over here, sculpted up top. So you get two weapons with this figure. And I believe the smaller one is the neutralizer one. This is the one that you don't want to get hit with, which is pretty interesting in the book because he starts off blasting people, which I think this is the energy analyzer, where he's just trying to figure out who you are, what you are, if you're a dire wraith or not, more than anything. And it scares the hell out of people. They think they're getting blasted by the alien, but he's just trying to figure out who they are. So I think this one's the energy analyzer, and you can go ahead and plug this in right over here. But yeah, when he uses the neutralizer, again, you can plug this in for the neutralizer. He's zapping dire wraiths into oblivion. So that's, or where do they go? I think they go somewhere else. I can't remember. But anyway, aside from those weapon holding hands, he just has a fist hand for his right side, then an open palm hand right here for the left side, which is also doubled as a comic holding hand, which does not give it a firm grip. That's unfortunate. He can't hold his comic too well, which is like not really a bummer for me at all, because while I think it's cool they could print this stuff, I don't like this accessory. Did I mention I don't really like this accessory? I gotta say I do like ROM's articulation. He does have a ball joint with the hinge at the top part of the neck. He also has a ball joint at the base of his neck right here. So he can look down, he can look up that far, rotate side to side, and give you some really good head pivoting right there. We don't have butterfly joints just due to the design and the sculpt right over here, but the shoulders can move outward that far. Oh wait, up and above the 90-degree mark, my bad. So yeah, they do move high up, and I did get some dentage. Damn it! I was just worrying about that a second ago. Yeah, hopefully that goes away. I doubt it though. So if you go past that 90-degree mark, you're going to dent your figure. I'm going to add some heat to this real quick to see if that does anything. Hold on. Damn it, yeah. So while the heat did smooth out some of those bumps, I did, in fact, damage the figure lifting up above the 90-degree mark. So don't do that. Don't damage your ROM. Damn it. Anyway, you could rotate a full 360 right here. You have the bicep swivel. You have the pinless double-jointed elbows. We went over the wrist articulation. We talked about this diaphragm cut, which does work very well, aside from scuffing the figure. And then you have the ab crunch right there. So with both joints, I mean, he'll bend forward almost at full 90. This is a fairly warm figure, so it's pliable at the moment to the point where I could bend back that far. And then you have hip joints right here that move outward. He'll kick forward very far, not back so much. I love that they have the hidden cut right here above the knee to go with the sculpt and the design. Then you have these double jointed knees, and then the ankles move down. They move up, no calf rotation, but you do get ankle pivot. Now to measure out the figures from this wave, you can see the tallest one is ROM, and he's standing just under 7.5 inches. In the comic, he's referenced as a giant. I mean, he didn't look like a giant, but he did look large. I would assume some fans would want him to be even larger than that in comparison to these other figures right here. You can see the shortest one, of course, is the Miles Morales, just under 6 inches. And then, you know, for the most part, these figures are about 6 3/4 inches tall, a little bit taller right here with Ultimate Iron Man, closer to 7. Oh, I almost forgot to give you guys my ranking. I actually have 2 ranking lists for you. One for most desirable, and 2 for which I think are the best figures from this wave. Yeah, 2 different things. First ranking I'm going to give you here is purely subjective here, okay? At the bottom of the list, I'm giving it to Ultimate Iron Man. I need that one the least because I don't have an Ultimates display in the dork room at the moment. At number 5, I'm giving it to Miles Morales because I do need to upgrade my Miles figure. And then at number 4, I'm giving it to ROM Space Knight because I want that new character and it looks so badass. But I really needed the Dakin figure right here to get upgraded. I have 2 Dakins in the dork room. Needed at least a refreshed Dakin. Same deal with Banshee over here. It's been too long since we've gotten a better Banshee, and finally we have it. And at number 1, I had to get Adam Warlock. Absolute must get for me. If there was just one figure I could pick up, it would be that Adam Warlock. Now, as far as what I think is just objectively the best figure from this wave, at the bottom, I'm giving it to Banshee over there. That piece snapped off on me. There's not a lot of new going on over here. It's just a redone figure, different paint job. So least interesting figure, I think, out of the set, but absolutely necessary for my collection. And then at number 5, I'm giving it to Miles again. He's getting number 5 spot 2 times. At number 4, I'm giving it to Dakin. Again, not that interesting of a figure overall, and I feel like this left leg is a little bit longer than the right. I could be wrong about that, but I've been messing with it. It feels like that left leg is long. At number 3, I am giving it to Adam Warlock. Again, Vulcan body mold. Not that much new going on there. At number 2, I'm giving it to Ultimate Iron Man because I love this freaking figure. It is an awesome piece. And at number 1, I think ROM is the dopest figure of this wave. And I'd like to know what your ranking is. So leave me both of your rankings if you have 2. You can give me your subjective ranking and your objective ranking. And if you leave me any ranking, I'll give it a heart. For your Ultimate Iron Man figure comparison, you can see we have the first one from Hasbro many years ago. And then we have this new one, which the more I look at this, I do get a little bit more bummed out about the red being such a flat colored red. But anyway, still huge improvement compared to this one. Then here's Ultimate Iron Man next to our most recently released Captain America, or Ultimate Captain America anyway. And this figure is why I thought they were going to go with the more modern Ultimate Iron Man. But hey, I like this one more. I'm happy to have it. Getting that other one would be cool too, though. I wouldn't mind. Then here's Ultimate Iron Man next to our Toy Biz Ultimate Captain America, which I think these two scale really nicely together. We have Ultimate Nick Fury from Hasbro, and we have the Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select Ultimate Hulk, and I cannot find my Ultimate Thor. So frustrated not finding my own figures. Then for some Dakin comparisons, you can see we have the Dakins from the Return of Marvel Legends from, 2011? The masked version and the unmasked version. And here's Dakin next to the other Dark Avengers figures that you see on the comic cover that he comes with. We have the retro card Black Suit Spider-Man, we have the 3-pack Iron Patriot, the recently released Dark Ms. Marvel, and we have the retro card Hawkeye. Or Dark Hawkeye. Then here's Dakin. Next is Papa. We have our latest released brown suit Wolverine figure from the Secret Wars wave. And then we have X-23 right over here. And I do need to review the X-23 Warpath X-Force 2-pack. Stay tuned for that. Then here's Dakin. Next to Chamber with the unmasked Dakin head on there. And it does look too big. Wish that could fit there a little better. Almost cool, but yeah, it just looks a little large. And then we have Cyber over here, which seems like it came out just a year ago, but what, it was like 5 years ago or something? But look at the blue shading over the blue plastic. I miss that kind of stuff. Wish we had gotten something like that right here on this figure with the beige parts, or tan parts anyway. And then for one quick Miles Morales comparison, you could see the previous Miles that I've had on display for a while. I think this was a 2-pack with Spider-Gwen, unless I'm mistaken. Very possible. Could have been a single carded figure from the Build-A-Figure wave. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we got Spider-Boy over here as well. And you can see this new Miles figure is definitely by far the shortest of the three. Then here's Banshee next to our first Banshee ever from Marvel Legends. And yeah, this upgrade is just way better. Look how much taller he is. Look at that weird neck and everything. Then we have Siren right over here. And yeah, they have the same thing going on with the capes. I wish the green color matched a little bit more between these two, but still, I like them both. She needs a screaming head sculpt more than anything. And finally, we have Banshee next to all the other new X-Men from giant-sized X-Men number 1. We have Sunfire, the X-Men 97 Nightcrawler. I think this is the X-Men 97 Wolverine, or I think so. And then we have Storm, Colossus, and Thunderbird. I would like to get a new version of Thunderbird. I think they can do that. I wouldn't be surprised if a new Colossus figure was on the way either. I love this Storm figure. Getting an updated version would be sweet too, but damn, I still love that figure a lot. Oh yeah, I had to show off this Banshee figure next to his cousin, Black Tom Cassidy. It's his cousin, right? I remember Siren's his niece and Black Tom's his cousin. Do I have them all wrong? I don't remember. Let me know, but I think I got that right. And for your Adam Warlock figure comparison, we have our first Red Hulk Wave Adam Warlock, and we have our more contemporary Adam Warlock, which I actually use as my Magus figure, so I use that alternate head over there. That works fine for me. And here's Adam Warlock next to the Marvel Legends Deluxe Thanos figure, which is my favorite Marvel Legends Thanos, and these two look great side by side. I actually like the blue that we're seeing on this Thanos. Again, we have blue figures with paint on them. It would be nice to see that come back with Marvel Legends. It wasn't that long ago, really. Then here's ROM next to the Marvel Legends Crystar. Neither of these characters I knew about until their figures were revealed, but somehow Pixel Dan and Dan Larson are all about them. I didn't know about either of these characters. I don't know how I missed them. Maybe I was thinking about my Thundercrackers and my Skywarps. I don't know. Then here's ROM next to a couple other silver shiny figures. We have our Ultron from the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave, and we have the Walgreens exclusive Silver Surfer. And which one of these three is the shiniest of them all? Which one would you say is the shiniest? I think they're all about the same kind of silver. And here's all 6 figures. Next to your average 6-inch scale figure, we have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Hey, Rom! Hey, maybe you could use that energy analyzer to see if I have letdown energy still, huh? Ooh, that feels kind of weird. So, what's the verdict? Ah! So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hey, if you did, feel free to show some love by simply clicking that like button. And if you want to see more content coming your way, I do have more content coming your way. Hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support via Patreon or membership, you can go ahead and hit that join button. And these figures are pretty damn neat, man. Not an amazing wave, but damn it, it's a wave that I've been wanting to see because there's so many characters here that we've needed an upgrade for so damn long. And to get them, it just makes me very, very happy. To be honest with you, all the upgrade figures over here, I actually do want. Like, this is definitely a set that makes me happy getting all 6 of them. I do want this updated Miles. Now, I gotta, make some alterations to those hip joints. I gotta customize it or something. That came in number 5 with both of my lists. But still, I'm happy to have it. It is better than the last one that I've had. So it's a good upgrade. Not great, and some of these other figures are actually pretty damn cool. I think the Ultimate Iron Man really stands out a lot for me. I really like that figure a lot. Yes, I did complain about the lack of paint shading throughout. I wish Hasbro would bring that back to their figures. Would have been nice to see that on Dakin, Banshee, and Adam Warlock especially, but I'm still pretty happy with this set, man, and at the price point around $26 a figure, I'm gonna give this wave in its entirety a Sud rating of...
I love it!
And I'd like to know what you guys think. Are most of these easy passes for you? Can you just let them go? Be satisfied with your older version? Did you miss out on the previous version and now you have these characters for the first time? Obviously, aside from ROM, let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see a photo gallery of images, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and on whatnot. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Card 20. Fuck. Fuck.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't. Your face.